Welcome to this practical guide on digital marketing and business growth. In this session, we're going to walk through 4 key areas: how to effectively use screen sharing for guidance and learning, how to build engagement strategies for your online presence, how to grow your business online, and finally, a look at the kinds of companies and tools involved in this space. Whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your digital skills, this guide has something for you. Let's dive in. The first concept we're looking at is using screen sharing as a learning and troubleshooting tool. The idea here is straightforward. Instead of just describing a problem, you share your screen so that a mentor or instructor can see exactly what's happening on your end. This is especially useful when you're working locally on a project and something isn't working as expected. Maybe your build is broken, maybe your score isn't showing correctly, or maybe your homepage and service pages aren't set up right. By sharing your screen, the instructor can guide you step by step through the issue in real time. One important detail that came up in this discussion is about custom links and static pages. Someone had set up a custom link expecting it to point to a specific static page, but the key thing to understand is that creating a custom link does not automatically create the page it points to. The page itself must be created first, and then the custom link can be assigned to it. This is a very common mistake for beginners. Always double-check that your page actually exists before you set up a custom link pointing to it. Otherwise, visitors will hit a dead end.
Now let's move into the second key concept, engagement strategies. Before you run any kind of online campaign or start posting content, you need to have a clear sense of purpose. The discussion here emphasizes that every campaign, whether it's on Meta, Google, or any other platform, should have a defined goal. Are you trying to grow your follower count? Are you trying to raise awareness for a specific service? Or are you trying to drive traffic to your website? These are 3 very different goals, and each one requires a different approach. Let's break down those 3 main campaign goals. First, increasing followers. This is about building your community and getting more people to follow your page or profile. Second, service awareness. This is when you want people to know that your business exists and what services you provide. And third, driving website traffic. This is when your main objective is to get people to actually visit your website. The key advice here is to pick one primary goal before you start. Trying to achieve all 3 at once without focus usually means you achieve none of them effectively. To make this concrete, the instructor uses the example of a page called Digital Art Nepal. The process goes like this. First, you create the page, then you identify your goal, in this case, growing followers. Then you plan your content specifically around that goal, and finally, you run targeted engagement efforts. The important insight here is that followers don't just appear. They grow when people genuinely engage with your content. As one participant pointed out, if people are engaging, followers will naturally increase over time. Consistency and relevance are what drive that engagement. A really practical question came up in this session. For businesses like dental clinics or counseling services, which platform is better, Meta or Google? This is a great question because the answer actually depends on the type of business. For counseling services specifically, the instructor recommends Meta. Why? Because Meta allows you to target people based on their interests and demographics, which is powerful for services where people might not know they need help yet. Google, on the other hand, especially Google Ads combined with Google Maps, is excellent when people are already actively searching for a service. For a dental clinic, both can work well. But for counseling, Meta's targeting capabilities give you an edge in reaching the right audience. The third key concept is about actually growing your business online. The discussion here shifts to practical tools and techniques. One of the tools highlighted is Canva, a design platform that many people already know for making graphics, but which has expanded significantly. The instructor points out that Canva now has many more features than it used to, and you can actually use it to build websites as well. The advice given is to use the correct original size when creating designs, for example, using the 20-pixel original size setting, and then download the finished product. These designs can then be shared with your group or team. Let's look more closely at what Canva can do for your business. Most people think of Canva as just a graphic design tool, but it's grown into much more than that. You can now use Canva's AI image generation feature. Just click Generate AI and type in a prompt describing what you want. You can also build full websites directly inside Canva without needing to write code. And for those who do want to work with code, Canva even has a code generation feature. The instructor demonstrates downloading a finished design and sharing it in a group, showing how easy it is to collaborate. The key requirement is that you're logged into your Canva account to access these advanced features. The fourth and final key concept in this batch is understanding the types of companies operating in the digital space. The discussion mentions a few specific company types. There are digital agencies, like DetailSpark, which focus on branding, marketing, and online presence.
Then there are development companies like Baltech, which handle website development, e-commerce, digital marketing, and a full range of IT services. Understanding the difference matters because when you're looking for help with your business, you need to know which type of company to approach. A digital agency is great for marketing strategy, while a development company is what you need when you want to build or scale a technical product.
Before we move forward, let's talk about what you should be doing between now and the next session. The instructor's clear message is practice everything we've covered and come prepared. That means reviewing your website or page setup, defining your campaign goal clearly, deciding which platform you're targeting, and getting hands-on with Canva, including trying out the AI image generation and the website builder. Most importantly, be ready to share your screen in the next session so the instructor can review your work and guide you through any issues. The more you build and experiment on your own, the more you'll get out of the next session.
Continuing from where we left off, let's talk about how custom link creation works in a web page context. The discussion here centers around a very practical scenario. Someone created a button on their website labeled something like View Service, and the goal was to make that button navigate the user to a specific services page when clicked. Now, this sounds simple, but there's an important prerequisite that often gets overlooked. The target page must actually exist before you can link to it. You can configure a custom link all you want, but if the destination page hasn't been created yet, the link has nowhere to go. So the workflow is, first, create the page, then set up the custom link pointing to it. Let's break this down into a clear 3-step process. First, you create the target page, in this case, a services page. Second, you add the button or navigation element on whatever page you want it to appear. Third, you assign the custom link to that button, pointing it to the page you created in step 1. The key insight from this conversation is that people sometimes skip step 1 and jump straight to creating the link, and then wonder why it doesn't work. The page has to exist first. This is a foundational concept whether you're working in WordPress, Wix, Webflow, or any other website builder. Now we shift into a really important strategic discussion. Which advertising platform should you use for local service businesses, like dental clinics or counseling centers? Should you go with Meta ads, meaning Facebook and Instagram, or should you use Google Ads with Maps integration? This is a question that comes up constantly in digital marketing, and the answer depends on the type of business. For counseling services, the recommendation here is clearly Meta. The reasoning is that counseling is a sensitive personal service. People don't always actively search for it on Google. Instead, they respond to targeted content that finds them where they're already spending time, which is social media. Meta's interest-based and behavioral targeting makes it ideal for this. Let's dig into why Meta specifically works well for counseling. Unlike Google, where users are actively typing in a search query, meaning they already know they want something, Meta reaches people passively. Someone scrolling through their feed might see an ad for a counseling service and think, actually, I could use that. This is the power of awareness stage marketing. Meta allows you to target based on interests, behaviors, and demographics, which means you can reach people who are likely to need mental health support even before they've consciously decided to look for it. It's a top-of-funnel approach that works particularly well for sensitive services. For dental clinics, the picture is a bit different. Dental care is something people actively search for. Dentist near me, dental clinic in city. So Google and Google Maps become very powerful tools. The good news is that a lot of this visibility can be achieved through local SEO without spending money on ads. When you set up and optimize a Google business profile, your clinic's details, address, phone number, hours, reviews, automatically appear in Google Maps results. This is called the Map Pack, and showing up there can drive significant foot traffic. So for dental clinics, the strategy involves both local SEO for organic visibility and potentially Google Ads for competitive keywords. Whether you're running ads for a dental clinic or counseling center on Meta, the key is to think in terms of a funnel. A funnel is a structured journey that takes a potential customer from first hearing about you all the way to booking an appointment or making a purchase. The funnel discussed here has 4 stages. At the top, you have awareness. Your ad reaches people in your target audience. Then comes engagement. They interact with your content. Next is lead generation. You collect their contact information using Meta's lead ads feature. And finally, conversion. You follow up with them, ideally through WhatsApp, to close the deal. This funnel approach is what makes Meta ads so effective for local service businesses. One of the most effective tactics in this funnel is using WhatsApp as the final conversion point. Meta owns WhatsApp, so the integration is seamless. You can run what are called click-to-WhatsApp ads, where someone sees your ad, clicks it, and is immediately taken into a WhatsApp chat with your business. This removes a lot of friction. The potential client doesn't have to fill out a long form or navigate to a website. they just start a conversation. From there, your team can answer questions, build trust, and book the appointment. The two campaign types to focus on are engagement campaigns, which build familiarity with your brand, and conversion campaigns, which drive that direct WhatsApp action.
Now, let's talk about Canva as a practical tool for digital marketing. Canva has evolved enormously from what it used to be. It's no longer just a simple graphic design tool. It now includes AI-powered features, a website builder, a logo maker, and much more. In this part of the session, the instructor walks through using Canva's AI image generation feature. You click on Generate AI, and if you're already logged into your Canva account, you can type in a prompt and have it generate images for you. This is incredibly useful for creating marketing visuals without needing a professional designer.
Here's how the AI image generation process works in Canva. First, you log into your Canva account. Then, you navigate to the AI generation tool and type in your prompt. In the demo, the instructor typed something like Smart Digital Office Logo, and Canva generated a set of logo options. And the results were impressive: high quality, clean, and usable. Now, there are some important caveats. Video generation in Canva requires a premium subscription. Image generation is available on the free plan, but when you download, you may get a watermark depending on your plan. The instructor noted that the image quality was good, sharp pixels, no distortion, which is a practical concern when using generated images for professional marketing materials. Beyond image generation, Canva also has a website builder, and this is worth knowing about, especially for beginners who want to create a landing page quickly without writing any code. You can build entire websites directly inside Canva using drag-and-drop tools and AI assistants. However, as the instructor points out, there are limitations. Some of the more advanced features, particularly anything involving video, require a premium subscription. And while the free plan gets you quite far, you should be aware that certain downloads may come with watermarks. For a professional landing page, you'll want to either upgrade to premium or use a dedicated tool. But for quick mockups or simple pages, Canva's free tier is genuinely useful. To close out this session, the instructor gives a clear homework assignment. Students are asked to build a landing page before the next class, and not just any landing page, but a high-quality one. The instructor mentions sending out a form, likely a shared resource or a template reference, and asks everyone to get access to it. The idea is to take everything covered in this session, the custom links, the funnel thinking, the Canva tools, and apply it practically. The instructor emphasizes that there are many online tools available, and students should explore them. The goal is to come to the next session with a completed landing page ready to present. This kind of hands-on practice is exactly how digital marketing skills get built. So continuing from where we left off, let's talk about how a service button is supposed to work on a website. The concept being discussed here is straightforward. When a user clicks a button labeled something like View Service, it should take them directly to the corresponding service page. This is basic navigation, but getting it right in WordPress requires attention to how you set up the link. The instructor here built a button using an AI-assisted tool, and the button is meant to redirect users to a specific service page within the same site. Now, here's an important detail that came up in the discussion. When setting up the button link in WordPress, the instructor noticed that a hash symbol, the #, was being used as the link destination. This is a very common mistake. The hash symbol by itself doesn't go anywhere. It just keeps the user on the same page. What you actually want is to paste the real URL of your service page into the link field. So if your service page is at yoursite.com/services, that's what goes in the link. Always double check your button links. A muted or broken link means your visitors can't reach your services at all. Now let's shift to lead generation, one of the most practical and important skills in digital marketing. The approach being discussed here is funnel-based. You create a funnel that moves people from being general audience members through engagement and finally into leads. The key insight here is that once you have those leads, you don't just leave them hanging. You divert them toward direct communication channels like WhatsApp or Messenger. These platforms allow for real, personal conversations with potential clients, which dramatically increases your chances of conversion. So what does this funnel actually look like in practice? The instructor gives a concrete example. Imagine offering a free consultation for digital marketing services. That's your hook. You create a funnel around that offer. You drive people to it through content or ads, you engage them with value, you collect their information as leads, and then you move them into a direct conversation on WhatsApp or Messenger. This is a simple but powerful structure. The consultation offer is just one example. The principle applies to any service you're promoting. The goal is always to move people from passive interest to active conversation. Now, here's where things get very actionable. The instructor lays out a clear set of tasks for students to complete before the next class. First, build a strong landing page. This is your most important asset in the funnel. Second, create a UGC video, which stands for User-Generated Content. This is a video where you personally speak to your audience, building trust and authenticity. Third, write your ad copy, the actual text that will appear in your advertisements. Fourth, if you don't already have a dollar card, get one, because you'll need it to run paid ads on platforms like Facebook or Google. And fifth, generate a pixel, which is a tracking code that lets you measure who visits your landing page and retarget them later. The instructor also mentioned sharing a sample landing page in the group, so students have a reference to work from.
The landing page is just the beginning. The instructor outlines the full pipeline that students will work through over the coming sessions. After building the landing page, you set up your pixel, that tracking code we just mentioned. Then you move into Google Ads, which expands your reach beyond social media. After that comes email marketing, where you nurture the leads you've collected. And finally, affiliate marketing, which is a way to earn commissions by promoting other people's products or services. Each of these steps will be covered practically, not just theoretically. The emphasis throughout is on doing, validating, testing, and learning from real campaigns. The overall strategy being described here is inbound marketing. Instead of chasing clients, you attract them by offering genuine value. The instructor makes a really encouraging point. You don't need a huge budget to test this. Even spending $5 to $7 on a small ad campaign can tell you whether people are responding to your offer. If they are, you scale up. If they're not, you adjust. The key principle is this: the more value you provide, the more people you attract. So your services need to be genuinely good, ideally better than what competitors are offering. Unique, high-quality service is what makes people choose you. When it comes to actually building your landing page, the instructor gives very clear guidance. Position yourself as a digital marketing consultant or specialist. You don't have to offer everything at once. Pick one skill from within the Integrated Digital Marketing Toolkit. Maybe it's website development, maybe it's SEO, maybe it's graphic design, branding, content marketing, or UGC video creation. Whatever skill you have, lead with that. Build your landing page around that one focused offer. This is important because a focused, confident message converts far better than a vague, generic one. Clients want to know exactly what you do and why you're the right person to help them. One of the specific deliverables the instructor asks for is a UGC video, a user-generated content video. This is not a polished studio-quality production. It's you speaking directly to the camera, telling your audience who you are, what skill you have, and how you can help them. The power of UGC is authenticity. People trust real people more than they trust polished ads. So the advice here is simple. Figure out which digital marketing skill you're focusing on and make a short, confident video about it. Speak to your audience, not at them. This video will be a key part of your funnel. It's often what convinces someone to take the next step and reach out to you. Before we move on, it's worth pausing on the big picture here. Everything discussed in this session, the service button, the funnel, the landing page, the pixel, the ads, all of it is in service of one core strategy: attract people with value, engage them meaningfully, and convert them into clients. The instructor's advice is not to overthink it. Start small. Spend $5 to $7 testing your funnel. See if people respond. Refine your offer. And above all, make sure your services are genuinely unique and valuable, because in digital marketing, your quality is your marketing. Picking up from where we left off, let's talk about something that came up during a live review of a WordPress site. When someone was setting up their navigation links in WordPress, they added a hash symbol, the #, before the section name in the link field. So instead of linking to a separate page, the link looked something like yoursite.com/services. The question was, why put a hash there at all?
The reason is actually quite logical. When you build a website, especially a single page or landing page style site, you don't always have separate pages for home, about, and services. Instead, all those sections live on one long page. So when someone clicks services in the navigation, you want the page to smoothly scroll down to the services section, not load a brand new page. That's exactly what the hash link does. The hash symbol tells the browser, stay on this page, but jump to the element with this ID. So if your services section has the ID services, then the link hash services will scroll right to it.
Here's how it actually works in practice. First, in your page builder, whether that's Elementor, Gutenberg, or any other tool, you assign a CSS ID or anchor aim to the section you want to jump to. For example, you'd give your services section the ID services. Second, in the WordPress menu editor, instead of linking to a full URL or a page, you add a custom link and type hash services as the URL. Third, when a visitor clicks that menu item, the browser reads the hash, finds the matching section ID on the page, and scrolls directly to it. This is a completely standard and widely used technique for single-page websites. Now, let's move into a broader strategy discussion that came up in the session. The idea here is about where your leads go after they interact with your website. Rather than just collecting form submissions and waiting, the approach being discussed is to divert those leads, redirect them, directly into WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. This is a smart move because messaging apps have much higher open and response rates than email. When someone clicks your call to action, instead of just filling out a form, they're immediately connected to you on a platform where real conversations happen.
The instructor introduces a concrete, practical example that applies to everyone in the class, offering consultation services for digital marketing. The specific example given is consultation for digital marketing services. The key point made here is an important mindset shift. Building a strategy is not the hard part. Anyone can write a plan. The real challenge and the real value comes from actually executing that strategy. So the goal for the class is to first build a clear, simple strategy together, and then go out and implement it practically. This is the difference between knowing something and doing something.
Let's break down the full strategy being outlined here. You start by choosing a specific service, in this case, digital marketing consultation. Your target audience is business owners who need help with marketing. You build a landing page, a focused, single-purpose page designed to capture their information. Business owners find your page, read about what you offer, and fill out a form with their details. That's your lead. Once you have the lead, you don't just wait. You follow up. You reach out, you understand their specific business problem, and then you offer a solution tailored to them. That's how you convert a lead into an actual paying client. This is a complete end-to-end lead generation and conversion cycle.
Another important concept raised in the session is about creating UGC, user-generated content, videos as part of your marketing strategy. The idea is straightforward. Figure out which specific skill within digital marketing you have and create a video around that skill. It doesn't have to be elaborate. A simple, genuine video where you talk about what you know, whether that's SEO, social media marketing, paid advertising, or content strategy, positions you as someone who knows what they're talking about. The target audience for this content is business owners. You're not trying to reach everyone. You're trying to reach people who own businesses and need marketing help. Your video is the hook that brings them to your landing page.
The audience targeting strategy here is deliberately broad at the top. You're casting a wide net, targeting business owners in general. This wide audience approach works because business owners as a group share a common need. They want more customers, more revenue, and better marketing. Your content, whether it's a UGC video, a social media post, or a paid ad, reaches this wide audience. Those who are interested click through to your landing page. On the landing page, they enter their information. Now you have a qualified lead, someone who has already shown interest by taking action. From there, the follow-up process begins.
The follow-up process is where the real money is made. Once a business owner submits their information on your landing page, your job is to reach out, ideally through WhatsApp or Messenger, since those channels have the highest response rates. When you connect with them, don't immediately pitch your services. Instead, listen. Ask about their business. Understand what problems they're facing with their marketing. Once you understand their specific situation, you can propose a solution that actually fits their needs. This is relationship-based selling, and it works because the client feels heard and understood, not sold to. That's how you convert a lead into a long-term client.
The instructor makes an exciting promise to the class. Before the 1-month course ends, a proven, tested strategy will be shared, one that the instructor describes as a money guarantee strategy. The concept is simple but powerful. If you invest around 5,000 rupees, you can generate 50,000 rupees in business. That's a 10 times return on your investment. This isn't magic. It's the result of applying digital marketing skills correctly, targeting the right audience, and following a structured process. The instructor emphasizes that this model has been proven to work, and the goal is to share it with everyone in the class so they can implement it themselves.
The instructor also addresses a broader context. Many people in Nepal are already involved in online business in some form, but the key insight being shared is this. Once you learn digital marketing properly, you can apply it to any of those existing business models and make them significantly more effective. Whether you're reselling products, offering freelance services, or running any kind of online venture, digital marketing gives you the tools to reach the right people, generate leads systematically, and grow in a scalable way. The course isn't just about learning theory. It's about transforming how you approach your existing or future business.
A very practical question came up in the session about legal registration. Do you need to register your business before you start? The answer given is reassuring for beginners. In the early days, especially when you're just starting out and working as a freelancer, you don't need any formal registration. Nepal legally recognizes freelancers, and there are no checks or requirements at that initial stage. However, as your income grows, the rules change. Once your revenue crosses 50,000 rupees, it's advisable to do a simple registration at your local ward office. This is a basic home-based or small business registration. If your business grows even further beyond that, you'd eventually need to register as a private limited company, which is a more formal process. But the key message is don't let registration concerns stop you from starting. To close out this section, the instructor makes an important clarification about freelancer status in Nepal. If anyone ever questions what you do or how you operate, you can simply say you're a freelancer, and that is a completely valid and legally recognized answer in Nepal. Freelancers have a lot of flexibility. You can work with multiple clients, set your own rates, and operate without the overhead of a formal company structure. This makes freelancing the ideal starting point for anyone entering the digital marketing services space. You can always formalize and scale later, but starting as a freelancer removes the barriers and lets you focus on what matters most: building skills, getting clients, and generating income.
Picking up from where we left off, let's talk about how the page creation process works when you're building a multi-section website. The key insight here is that when you create a page from the home view, each section, home, about, services, gets generated as its own independent section. They don't automatically link together. So when someone clicks About in the navigation, the goal is to land them on the About section of the same page, not open a completely new page. This is a very common point of confusion when you're first setting up a site.
The problem that comes up is this. If you don't customize the links properly, clicking on Services in the menu might open a completely separate page instead of scrolling to the Services section on the same page. The correct approach, and this is what the instructor is guiding toward, is to use custom linking so that all sections live on one page, and the navigation simply scrolls the user to the right section. This creates a much smoother, more professional user experience. The fix involves going into the menu settings and manually linking each navigation item to the correct section anchor on the same page. Now, let's move into content creation strategy. The instructor lays out a very practical framework here. The idea is not just to create random content, but to build a strategy first and then execute on it. The example topic chosen is consultation for digital marketing services. The point being made is that creating a strategy is the easy part. Actually working through that strategy consistently is what makes the difference. So the process starts with picking a clear topic, then defining what service you're offering, then creating content around it, and finally building a sales funnel to convert your audience into clients. So what exactly is a sales funnel? Think of it as a journey you design for your potential clients. At the very top, you're reaching a broad audience, people who might be interested in your service. As they move down the funnel, they become more engaged, more interested, and eventually they convert, meaning they reach out, make an inquiry, or purchase your service. For the example being used here, digital marketing consultation, the funnel would start with content that attracts people interested in digital marketing and end with them booking a consultation or contacting you for your services. One of the most important concepts in running digital ads is location targeting, and the instructor explains this really clearly using a practical example. When you set up an ad, you choose which geographic area your ad will be shown in. If you select all of Nepal, your ad reaches people across the entire country. But if you select a specific city, like Butwal, only people in that area will see your ad. The question is, which should you choose? And the answer depends entirely on your business model. Here's the key distinction the instructor makes. If you have a product-based business, say a clothing shop in Butwal, and you don't offer delivery, then there is absolutely no point in targeting Kathmandu or any other city. The people who see your ad need to be able to physically visit your store, so you target a radius of around 20 to 25 kilometers around your shop, just the people who can realistically come in. On the other hand, if you run a service-based business, like digital marketing consultation, you can work with clients from anywhere. You could be sitting in Nepal and serving clients in India or Bangladesh. Location becomes much less of a restriction. Let's dig into the radius targeting idea a bit more. Imagine your clothing shop is right in the center of Butwal. You draw a circle of 20 to 25 kilometers around it. Everyone inside that circle is a potential customer who could physically walk into your store. Your ad should only be shown to people within that circle. This maximizes the chance that someone who sees your ad will actually visit. The instructor also points out that the buyer persona you create, the detailed profile of your ideal customer, helps you figure out not just where to target, but also what age group, interests, and behaviors to focus on. It all connects.
A student asks a really practical question here. They're based in Dang, and they want to know if they target Kathmandu in their ad, will only people in Kathmandu see it? The answer is yes, exactly right. The location you select in your ad settings determines who sees the ad, not where you physically are when you run it. So if you're in Dang and you target Kathmandu, people in Kathmandu will see your ad. Now, whether that makes sense depends on your business. If it's service-based, you can absolutely take inquiries from Kathmandu clients while sitting in Dang. But if it's product-based with no delivery, you should target your own local area instead.
Let's consolidate the location targeting rules into a simple summary. For product-based businesses without delivery, target only your local radius. For product-based businesses that do offer delivery, you can expand your targeting to broader areas or even all of Nepal. And for service-based businesses, you have the most flexibility. You can target anywhere in the world. This is one of the biggest advantages of being a digital marketer or consultant. You're not tied to a physical location. You can serve clients across Nepal, across South Asia, or globally. That's a powerful position to be in. Now the instructor brings everything together into a practical strategy that the whole group will work through together. The topic is digital marketing consultation. The service type is service-based, not product-based, which means location is flexible. They're going to target all of Nepal for this exercise. Then they'll build a sales funnel to guide potential clients from awareness all the way to making an inquiry. And they'll create content that supports each stage of that funnel. This is a real end-to-end strategy, not just theory. The instructor emphasizes, building the strategy is step one, but actually executing it is where the real work and real results come from.
So what exactly can you offer as a digital marketer? The instructor runs through the skills that have been covered in the course: website development, SEO, content marketing, social media marketing, and points out that these can all be packaged together into a comprehensive service offering. You don't have to offer just one thing. You can create a full digital marketing package that includes multiple services, or you can specialize in one area and offer consultation around it. The key is to take what you've learned and turn it into something you can sell to clients. The instructor also addresses freelancing directly, and this is really encouraging for anyone just starting out. In the early stages of freelancing, there aren't major legal or regulatory hurdles to worry about. You can introduce yourself simply as a freelancer, which is a completely valid and recognized way to work in Nepal. The important thing is how you present yourself to clients. You want to communicate clearly. You've learned digital marketing, you've built skills, and you're offering a service-based business. The instructor even shares their own page as a reference, showing students what a professional freelancer profile looks like, so they can draw inspiration from it. As your freelancing income grows, the rules and expectations change. The instructor mentions that once you start earning well, around 1 lakh rupees per month or more, that's when you should start thinking about formalizing your business, following proper compliance rules, and potentially registering as a business entity. In the early stages, the focus should be entirely on building your client base, delivering great results, and growing your income. Don't let the formalities stop you from getting started. Start as a freelancer, build your reputation, and scale from there. Shifting gears now, a student brings up a question about a WordPress theme they've built themselves. The instructor walks through some important considerations. When you build a custom WordPress theme from scratch, you have full control over the design and functionality. But with that control comes responsibility, specifically around security. The instructor points out that custom-built themes need to be carefully reviewed for loopholes, which are vulnerabilities in the code that could allow unauthorized access. If your theme has loopholes, anyone could potentially exploit them. So before activating a custom theme, especially when you plan to share with others, security needs to be a top priority. The instructor gives some very practical advice on WordPress theme security. First, if you wrote the code yourself, you should know where the potential weak points are. Loopholes in scripts can allow anyone to gain access to the site or manipulate it. The instructor strongly recommends focusing strictly on security when building custom themes. Second, if you want to share your custom theme with others, you need to package it as a zip file. WordPress doesn't accept raw theme directories uploaded directly. And third, the more customization you've added, the more thorough your security testing needs to be. It's not enough to just make it look good, it needs to be safe. The instructor also asks an important clarifying question. Did the student use a child theme, or did they build the theme entirely from scratch? This matters a lot. A child theme is based on an existing parent theme. It inherits the parent's styles and functions, and any customizations you make are safe from being overwritten when the parent theme updates.
A Scratch Belt theme, on the other hand, is entirely your own code with no parent dependency. That gives you more freedom, but it also means you're responsible for everything, including making sure the formatting is correct, the code is clean, and the security is solid. The instructor confirms the student built theirs from scratch and advises them to keep refining it.
Continuing from where we left off, there's an important concept about how navigation links work when you're building a multi-section web page. When you click a link that uses a hash symbol, like hash services, the browser is supposed to scroll to that section on the same page. But here's the catch. The CSS class or ID you assign to that section must exactly match what you put in the hash. So if your link says hash services, the section container must have the class or ID services assigned to it. This is what the instructor is walking through, making sure the hash in the link and the class on the element are perfectly in sync. The specific problem being solved here is that when someone clicks the services link in the navigation, instead of smoothly scrolling down to the services section on the same page, it was opening a completely separate page, or redirecting unexpectedly. The fix is straightforward. Go into the backend editor, find the services section container, and assign it the correct class, in this case, services, so it matches the hash in the navigation link. Once that class is properly assigned, the link knows exactly where to scroll on the page.
There's a quick but important distinction being made here between CSS IDs and CSS classes when it comes to hash navigation. Both can technically work. If you use an ID, your link's hash should match that ID name. If you use a class, the class name should match. The key takeaway is consistency. Whatever you define in your navigation link's hash value must correspond to what's actually on the element in the page. The instructor confirms this when a student asks whether it should be a CSS ID, and the answer is yes. Either works, but you have to be deliberate and consistent about which one you're using. Now, the session shifts into a really practical and motivating discussion. What can you actually offer as a service once you've learned these digital skills? The instructor lays out a full picture. You've learned website development, you've learned SEO, content marketing, social media marketing, and even some graphic design. All of these can be packaged together or offered individually. The point being made is that these aren't just academic skills. They're marketable, sellable services. And the services section of your own website is where you showcase exactly this. Before you can sell anything, you need to know who you're selling to. The instructor walks through exactly who your target audience should be when you're offering website development and consultation services. Small business owners who don't yet have an online presence are a prime target. Startups that are just getting off the ground need a professional web presence immediately. Local shopkeepers, even a grocery store or a Kirana shop, can benefit enormously from being online. Dental clinics and other local service providers are another great niche, and even authors who want to sell their books online can be your clients. The digital world is expanding, and almost every type of business needs a website. The instructor gives a really compelling real-world example here, a brand called Karnali Mat, which sells organic food products like dal, kodo, jao, and other grains. This business had physical outlets in Kathmandu, but was limited in reach. By building a website, all of those organic products became accessible to anyone online, not just people who could walk into the store. This is the power of a website. It takes something local and makes it scalable. The instructor uses this to drive home the point. No matter what someone is selling, groceries, furniture, books, services, a website opens up a whole new channel of customers.
So what does a standard website package actually look like? The instructor breaks it down simply. Every website you build for a client should include 5 core pages: a home page, an About Us page, a services page, a blog section, and a contact page. These are the baseline, the minimum that any professional website needs. But here's where strategy comes in. To make your offer more attractive, you can add a bonus. In this case, the instructor suggests offering a 1-month free local SEO package as a bonus. This gives the client extra value, makes your offer stand out from competitors, and also gives you a chance to demonstrate your SEO skills. Now the instructor gets into the actual marketing strategy. How do you get clients in the first place? The answer is by building a consultation funnel using meta ads. Here's how the funnel works. At the top, you run awareness content, educational posts or ads that answer basic questions like, what is a website? What types of websites exist? And why does your business need one? This content educates your target audience and builds trust. Then you move into the engagement phase, where you offer a free 30-minute consultation. This is your hook. People are much more likely to respond to a free offer than a direct sales pitch. From there, you capture their lead through a landing page or a lead form. And finally, after the consultation, you convert them into a paying client. The free consultation offer is the core hook of this entire strategy. By offering a free 30-minute consultation and throwing in a free website audit or a 1-month local SEO package, you dramatically lower the barrier for potential clients to say yes. They have nothing to lose. And here's the beautiful part from your perspective as a beginner. You're getting paid to practice. You're building real client experience while they're funding the process. The initial ad spend to bring people in is minimal, around $5 to $7. The instructor also names this approach. It's called outbound marketing, where you're actively going out and reaching potential clients rather than waiting for them to find you.
The instructor briefly but importantly introduces two fundamental marketing concepts, inbound and outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is what we've been describing. You actively push your message out to potential clients through paid ads, cold outreach, or promotions. You're going to them. Inbound marketing is the opposite. You create valuable content, optimize for search engines, and let clients come to you organically over time. Both have their place, but for someone just starting out who needs clients quickly, outbound marketing through meta ads is the faster path. The consultation funnel we just described is a classic outbound strategy.
For the consultation funnel to work effectively, you need a well-structured landing page. The instructor outlines what this should look like. At the top, your hero section should immediately communicate the offer, something like get a free 30-minute website consultation. Below that, you address the pain points of your target audience. They have no online presence, their website is outdated, or their ads aren't generating results. Then you present your offer and hook clearly. The call to action button should be prominent and direct. Book your free session now. And if you have any testimonials or social proof, include those too. A dedicated landing page is more professional than just sending people to your general website, and it converts much better.
Understanding your audience's pain points is what makes your marketing resonate. The instructor identifies several key pain points for each target group. Small business owners suffer from online invisibility. Nobody can find them. Startups need a professional presence quickly, but don't know where to start. Local retailers are stuck. Their sales are limited to whoever walks through the door. Dental clinics and service providers lose potential clients because people can't find them when searching online. And some businesses are already running ads, but seeing zero results because their digital foundation isn't solid. When your ads and consultation offers speak directly to these pain points, people feel understood, and that's when they take action.
One powerful strategy the instructor highlights is niche targeting. Instead of trying to serve everyone, you pick a specific industry, like dental clinics, and build a portfolio website specifically designed for that niche. Then you use that portfolio to pitch to every dental clinic in your area. When a dentist sees a website that looks exactly what they need, with appointment booking, service listings, and a professional layout, they immediately trust that you understand their business. This approach builds credibility much faster than showing a generic portfolio. You can apply this same strategy to any niche: furniture stores, paint shops, restaurants, law firms. Pick one, build a sample, and go pitch. The session also touches on an important professional responsibility: website security. If you're building websites for clients, you need to take security seriously. The instructor makes a key point. If you write your own custom scripts or code, you need to know whether there are security loopholes in that code. Loopholes can be exploited by anyone, and that puts your client's data and business at risk. The recommended approach is to use Cloudflare. Connecting your client's website to Cloudflare gives it DDoS protection, a content delivery network, and SSL security. Additionally, using well-known security plugins adds another layer of protection. Security isn't optional. It's part of delivering a professional, trustworthy product. Looking ahead to the next session, the instructor outlines exactly what's coming. Everyone is expected to have their landing page built, their ad copy written, and their video content ready. In the next class, the focus will be on the metapixel, understanding what it is, creating it, and installing it on your website. Once the pixel is set up, the group will run either an engagement campaign or a lead generation campaign, everyone doing it practically, hands-on. To prepare, students are asked to load $5 to $7 into their ad account and make sure they have a dollar card ready. This is where the theory becomes real. Actual campaigns, actual spend, actual results. There's a quick but practical question raised at the end of the session about Facebook bots and access tokens. A student mentions they built a Facebook bot and noticed that the access token expires quickly. This is a real and common issue. Facebook issues short-lived access tokens by default, but you can extend them to long-lived tokens, which last up to about 60 days, by using the Facebook Graph API token exchange process. The instructor acknowledges this and confirms it's something worth managing carefully. If you're building bots or any Facebook integrated tools for clients, you need to monitor token expiry and have a process in place to renew or extend them before they cause the bot to stop working.
Picking up right where we left off, the instructor is walking through the complete system for running ads and generating leads. And the core of that system comes down to three things working together: your landing page, your ad copy and video, and then actually running the ad. Let's break down each of these in detail.
A landing page is a dedicated web page built around a single offer, in this case, a free consultation. The instructor emphasizes that having a landing page makes you look far more professional than just sending people to a generic website or social media profile. The whole point is simple. Someone lands on the page, sees your offer, fills out the form, and then you follow up with them. That follow-up is where you convert a lead into an actual paying client. The instructor lays out a very specific 5-section structure for a high-converting landing page. First is the hero section. This is the very first thing people see. It has your main headline, a subheadline, a call to action button, and either a short video or a professional photo of yourself. Second is the problem and pain trigger section. This is where you use red icons and short, punchy text to grab attention and make the visitor feel like you understand their problem. Third is the solution and authority section, laid out in 3 columns. This is where you list your services and establish credibility. Fourth is the offer section. This is the most important part. Put it in a highlighted box with a different background color so it stands out. This is where you present your free consultation offer. And fifth is the trust section, your photo, your experience, your results, and testimonials from past clients. For the hero section specifically, the instructor gives very clear design rules. On the left side, you put your primary headline in large, bold text, something like, "Let's build a strategy that actually works for your business." Below that, a supporting subheadline, and then a clear call to action button. On the right side, you put either a short video or a professional photo of yourself. Now, for design rules, keep the background white or use a light gradient. Keep fonts clean and readable. Make sure the page is mobile responsive because most people will see it on their phones. The page must load in under 3 seconds. And critically, use a sticky header, meaning your navigation or CTA button stays visible even as the user scrolls down the page. The second section is all about triggering the pain point. The instructor explains that you use red icons here. Red naturally grabs attention and signals urgency. You list out the problems your target client is facing. Things like no leads coming in, no website, no SEO, ads not giving results. The goal is to make the visitor read this and think, yes, that's exactly my problem. When someone feels understood, they're far more likely to keep reading and eventually take action. In the third section, you present your solution. Use a 3-column layout and list out your service packages clearly. For example, a website package might include 6 pages: home, about us, services, blog, and contact, plus SEO work and any add-ons. Adding icons next to each service makes it even more visually appealing and easier to scan. Then comes section 4, and the instructor calls this the most important section on the entire page. This is your offer. Put it inside a highlighted box with a different background color so it visually stands out from everything else. Your offer could be a free consultation, a free SEO audit, or 1 month of free SEO. The key is to make it feel valuable and urgent, something like only 10 slots available this week. The fifth and final section is about building trust. On the left side, you put a professional photo of yourself, something that looks approachable and credible. Next to it, you share your experience, your past results, and ideally some portfolio samples. If you have testimonials from past clients, put them here in a carousel format. This is what convinces a skeptical visitor that you're the real deal. And then your lead capture form. Keep it simple. Just name, email, phone number, and business type is enough to start a conversation. You don't need a long, complicated form. Add an urgency element, like only 10 slots available, to push people to act now rather than later. Beyond the content and design, there are some important technical requirements the instructor walks through. Your page must be mobile responsive, non-negotiable. It must load in under 3 seconds. Your header or call to action button must be sticky so it stays visible as users scroll. Set it up on a subdomain, something like freeconsultation.yourdomain.com. Install the Facebook pixel on your website. The instructor walks through how to do this using a plugin in WordPress. Connect your form so that submissions go directly to WhatsApp or email so you can follow up immediately. And consider integrating Calendly, which lets visitors book a consultation slot directly from your page without any back-and-forth messaging. And if you're not sure what to write for your headlines or copy, the instructor says to use ChatGPT. Just ask it to write a high-converting landing page headline for your specific service. The instructor gives a very practical step-by-step for installing the Facebook pixel. Go to the back end of your WordPress website, navigate to the plugin section, click Add New, and search for Pixel Your Site. This plugin will appear at the top of the results. Install it and activate it. You don't need to do anything else with it today.
Tomorrow, the class will go through creating the actual pixel inside Meta Ads Manager and connecting it to the plugin. But the instructor wants everyone to have the plugin ready so that when the pixel is created, it takes only a minute to connect. Why does the pixel matter? Because it tracks everyone who visits your landing page. That data lets you retarget those visitors with ads later, and it lets you build lookalike audiences, meaning Facebook finds new people who behave similarly to your existing visitors.
Now, let's talk about your ad copy and video script. Because your landing page alone won't bring people in, you need an ad that drives traffic to it. The instructor breaks the script into 5 parts. Start with a hook, something that immediately grabs attention, like, is your business not growing online? Then move into the problem. No website, no SEO, ads not giving results. Then present the solution, your free consultation where you'll build their full strategy, plus 1 month of free SEO as a bonus. Then add urgency. Book today, limited slots available, and end with a clear call to action. Click the link and book now. You can record this as a face-to-camera video or do a voiceover with screen recording or images. The instructor says showing your own face builds more trust, but either format works.
When setting up your ad targeting, the instructor recommends targeting people aged 18 to 45. For interests, focus on business, entrepreneurship, and digital marketing. You want to reach business owners and entrepreneurs, people who actually have a business and might need your services. Once your pixel has data, you can retarget website visitors, people who visited your landing page but didn't fill out the form. You can also create lookalike audiences based on your existing customers or page followers. For the ad objective, start with engagement. This is the most cost-effective way to get your ads seen and to gather initial data. As you scale and get more confident, you can shift to a lead generation objective.
Once your ad is running and people are clicking through to your landing page, how do you actually collect the leads? The instructor outlines 3 methods. First, the landing page form. The visitor fills in their name, phone number, email, and business type, and that data comes directly to you. Second, WhatsApp integration. You can connect your form so that when someone submits it, it automatically sends a WhatsApp message, allowing you to connect with the lead instantly. Third, Calendly. This is a free appointment booking tool where the visitor can pick a time slot directly from your page. The instructor highlights Calendly as a particularly professional option because it removes the friction of scheduling. Whichever method you use, the key point is this: the faster you follow up with a lead, the higher your chance of converting them into a paying client.
For your ad creative, meaning the image or graphic that goes with your ad, the instructor recommends using Canva. Search for your niche, like digital marketing, and browse the templates. There are excellent free templates available. Pick one that looks clean and professional. Then customize it. Add your logo, change the colors to match your brand, and update the text to reflect your specific offer. The instructor's golden rule for design is this: a person should be able to look at your graphic and understand your message within 3 seconds. If it's cluttered or confusing, they'll scroll past it. Keep it clean, use light gradient backgrounds, and create 4 to 5 different variations so you can test which one performs best.
The instructor also outlines a content strategy for your Facebook page, because running ads works much better when your page already has some content on it. In the first week, post educational content. Explain what a website is, why businesses need one, what SEO does. In the second week, post problem-solution content, common mistakes businesses make online and how to fix them. In the third week, showcase your portfolio and results, real examples of work you've done. And in the fourth week, push your offer. Free consultation, limited slots, book now. Mix up your post formats. Use infographics, short videos, carousel posts, and face-to-camera videos. Canva has templates for all of these. The instructor points out that infographics in particular get a lot of shares and reach on Facebook, so use them regularly.
A student in the class raises an important question about Facebook Messenger bot automation. They had built a bot to automate their Messenger responses, which is a great idea because it means your page can respond to inquiries automatically, collect lead data, and send follow-up messages even when you're not online. However, the student noticed that their access token, which is the authentication key that allows the bot to connect to Facebook's API, was expiring. The instructor explains that Facebook API access tokens are indeed time-limited. They expire after a certain period. To fix this, you go to Meta Ads Manager, navigate to the API settings section, and either regenerate or extend your token. The instructor advises the student to send a screenshot via WhatsApp so they can look at it together, and notes that if the token was obtained directly from Facebook's own platform rather than a third-party paid service, it should be extendable.
One of the students asks how much money they need to start running ads. The instructor's answer is refreshingly practical. You can start with as little as $1 per day. Previous students in the program ran their first campaigns with anywhere from $0 to $50 and still got results and valuable learning experience. The instructor frames the initial ad spend as an investment in your own education. You run the ad, you observe what happens, you look at the metrics, impressions, reach, clicks, cost per lead, and you learn from it. Then you improve and run again. The goal in the early phase is not to spend a lot, it's to understand how the system works. Once you have a winning combination of landing page, ad creative, and targeting, then you scale up the budget. The instructor's philosophy is clear: small budget, maximum learning, then grow your revenue from the leads you generate.
Once your ad is running, you need to know what to look at inside Meta Ads Manager. The instructor previews this for tomorrow's session, but gives a quick overview now. Impressions tell you how many times your ad was displayed in total. Reach tells you how many unique people saw it. So if one person saw your ad 3 times, that's 3 impressions, but 1 reach. Clicks show you how many people were interested enough to click. Cost per lead is one of the most important metrics. It tells you how much you're spending for each person who fills out your form. Engagement rate, likes, comments, shares, tells you whether your content is resonating. And click-through rate, or CTR, is the percentage of people who saw your ad and then clicked it. A higher CTR means your creative and copy are working well. The instructor shows a real example from a previous client's campaign to illustrate these metrics in action.
Before the next session, the instructor gives everyone a clear set of tasks to complete. First, build your landing page. Set it up on a subdomain of your existing website, something like freeconsultation.yourdomain. Second, write your video script using the 5-part structure: hook, problem, solution, offer, and call to action. Third, record a simple face-to-camera video. It doesn't need to be fancy, just authentic and direct. Fourth, create 4 to 5 ad creative images in Canva using the templates and design rules covered today. Fifth, install the Pixel Your Site plugin on your WordPress website so you're ready to connect your Facebook pixel tomorrow. And sixth, explore Calendly. Create a free account and set up a booking page so visitors can schedule consultations directly. The instructor's message is clear: don't wait for perfection. A simple landing page that exists is infinitely better than a perfect one that's still being planned.
All right, let's dive into the practical side of AI-powered content creation. The instructor has been walking students through several tools that can be used to generate both images and videos using artificial intelligence. And the exciting part is that many of these tools are either free or have generous free tiers. Let's break down what was covered.
The instructor begins by recapping the previous session on digital art. Students had been asked to try out different tools and experiment on their own. The key takeaway from that session was to run engagement strategies that are suitable for your specific website or niche. The instructor also asks students to reflect on their current focus. Are they building a service-based business, or are they working on personal branding? This is important because the tools and strategies you choose should align with your goal.
One of the key tools the instructor demonstrates is Vix, a 3-image generation platform from Google. The process is straightforward. You go to the platform, type in a simple prompt describing what you want, optionally choose an image size, and hit enter. Within seconds, it generates high-quality images for you. Now, here's something really important. Images generated by AI tools like this do not carry copyright restrictions. So if you use them on your blog or website and label them as AI-generated, you are generally safe from copyright issues. This is a huge advantage for content creators who need visuals quickly and affordably.
When it comes to writing prompts for AI image tools, the instructor's advice is to keep things simple, especially when you're starting out. You describe the subject, the style, and the mood you want. The instructor specifically mentions creating green screen images, a solid green background that can be used in video editing to cut out subjects and place them in different scenes. This is a clever trick for content creators who want professional-looking videos without a physical green screen setup. And if you're not sure how to write a good prompt, just ask ChatGPT. It can generate a well-structured prompt for you to paste directly into the image tool.
The instructor then moves into AI video generation tools, and there are quite a few options available. Google Flow gives you 10 free credits, which lets you create about 4 videos of up to 18 seconds each, a great starting point. Kling AI is another option with a free tier. Canva has also been heavily updated and now supports text-to-video generation, which is very convenient since many students are already familiar with Canva. Google AI Studio is specifically designed for video creation, and Vix, which we already mentioned for images, can also generate videos. The instructor's message here is clear. There are many tools out there, and you should explore them to find what fits your workflow and your niche. Here's the practical workflow the instructor walks through for generating AI videos. First, open your platform of choice. Then write or paste a prompt that clearly describes the scene you want, what's happening, what the mood is, and what the purpose of the video is. You can choose the video size and format, for example, a vertical format for TikTok. Set the generation speed to fast to save time. You can then combine 2 or 3 short AI-generated clips together to create a complete reel or short video. Finally, download it and use it in your content. The instructor also points out that text-to-video is a powerful feature. You literally type a description and the AI builds the video clip for you. The instructor is very transparent about pricing. Most of these tools have free tiers that are more than enough to get started. For example, Google Flow gives you 10 free credits when you create an account. Gemini Pro is mentioned as a larger, more expensive package. The instructor calls it an enterprise-level plan and advises students not to worry about it at this stage. The key advice is to start with the free tools, get comfortable with the workflow, and only consider upgrading to paid plans when your business genuinely requires more capacity or higher quality output. Don't spend money before you need to.
This is one of the most important points the instructor makes during this session. While AI-generated videos are convenient and impressive, the instructor strongly recommends that in the early days of building your online presence, you should appear in your own videos. Why? Because trust is everything when you're starting out. When your audience sees your face, hears your voice, and connects with you as a real person, they are far more likely to trust you and engage with your content. AI videos are a great supplement, especially if you're not comfortable on camera yet, but personal videos are more powerful for building an authentic brand. The instructor's advice? Use your own face whenever you can, and use AI to fill in the gaps.
Canva has received significant AI updates and is now a genuinely powerful all-in-one content creation platform. The instructor demonstrates generating a short video inside Canva using a simple text prompt. The output shown is a video with the message, "Is your business still not growing online?" which is a great example of a marketing hook. Canva allows you to export in vertical formats suitable for TikTok and Instagram Reels. The instructor recommends downloading the video in its original size for best quality. If you're already using Canva for design work, it's worth exploring its new AI video features. You might not even need a separate video tool.
The instructor then shifts to talking about internship opportunities available through the program. This is a major step beyond classroom learning. Internships put you in a real business environment where you analyze an actual business and build a real digital marketing strategy for it. Students are encouraged to apply through Code IT, the partnering organization. Most internships are conducted online, which makes them accessible regardless of where you live in Nepal. However, if you're based in or near Kathmandu, you may also have the option to do a physical internship at one of the partner companies. The instructor mentions that in a previous batch, 3 students completed physical internships, one from Biratnagar and one from Chitwan, showing that location is not a barrier. Importantly, the program aims to place students in paid internships, not just unpaid ones. Toward the end of the session, a student asks the instructor about where he lives and what companies he works with. The instructor says that he's based in the Sankamul area of Kathmandu, near Bhaktapur. He mentions 2 main companies, Digital Spark, which is a digital marketing agency, and Baltung, which is a software development company. He also does freelance work on the side. This context is important because it shows that everything being taught in this course comes from real, hands-on experience in the industry, not just theory. The instructor is actively working in the field, which makes the guidance practical and relevant. Let's wrap up everything covered in this session. First, AI image generation tools like Vix from Google are free, easy to use, and produce high-quality images without copyright concerns, a huge win for content creators. For video, there are multiple platforms to explore. Google Flow, Kling AI, Canva, and Google AI Studio all offer free options to get started. When writing prompts, keep them simple and don't hesitate to use ChatGPT to help craft them. Free plans are more than enough at the beginning. Don't rush into paid subscriptions. And remember, while AI videos are powerful, showing your own face builds genuine trust with your audience, especially in the early stages of your brand. Finally, if you're serious about going practical, apply for the internship program through Codeit. It's one of the best ways to apply everything you've learned in a real business context. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and come to the next class ready to show your work.